Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, my voice is a little hoarse. I had a lot of fun on the live. I wanted to do a video, and I'm just gonna put all the undercard fights in this one video and recap, all the significant fights that we saw on the undercard of Inoue versus Nery. It was a really fun fight. Undercard, I don't think was quite as fun as the main event, but it is what it is. I'll start with the co-main event. You had Yoshiki Takei taking on Jason Moloney for the WBO Bantamweight title. Really frustrating fight to watch because Takei comes from a kickboxing background. He's a hard-punching southpaw who's awkward. And Yoshiki Takei definitely got Moloney's attention early. There were some low shots or perceived low shots from the referee, and he did get deducted a point. But I feel like Moloney showed him way too much respect in the first 6 rounds and dug himself a hole he couldn't get out of. And he finally figured out around the 7th round that when you walk this guy down and press him and let your hands go, he's not that same menacing power puncher. And it all culminated in the 12th round when he landed like 71 punches and damn near knocked this guy out. But it was too little too late for Moloney, and he loses the title via decision to Yoshiki Takei. And now Takei is the 10th active world champion currently from Japan in boxing. And he is also now completed the trifecta, the quadruple, where now every current world title holder in the bantamweight division is Japanese. Junto Nakatani holds the WBC, Takuma Inoue holds the WBA, Nishida, who just beat Manuel Rodriguez, he holds the IBF, and now Yoshiki Takei holds the WBO. So it's to that point now where you may have to make a whole entire Japanese bantamweight tournament. Takei, I definitely think, is the weakest champion of the bunch. I think he's a very good puncher, but he did show himself to be a bit of a front runner. He faded towards the end of the fight, and I think Moloney will let himself down by not starting earlier. So I'm disappointed in Moloney's performance, but it turned out to be a solid fight. In the 12th round for Moloney, it's a shining example to a lot. It should be an example to a lot of fighters of how you empty the tank in the 12th round. When they say empty the tank and give every last bit you have, Moloney in the 12th round against Takei is what I think. But Takei still, even though he's champion, still has a lot of things to work on. But nonetheless, Japan has another world champion, so it is what it is. Also on the undercard, you had Takuma Inoue taking on Sho Ishida, the Japanese veteran fighter. He's fought Kosai Tanaka and Kal Yafai and Israel Gonzalez and lost to all those guys, but been competitive, made those fights close. So, he's been slowly rebuilding himself over the last 3 years. And I was expecting Ishida to go on there and give a much better effort than he did, or a much better performance than he did. But that's not what I got. I got Takuma Inoue absolutely schooling this guy, outclassing him. And I gotta point this out. Takuma Inoue was never a big puncher. I remember when he fought Nordine Ubali. Ubali, he hit Nordine Ubali with a lot of good shots. And he couldn't, bust a grape in that fight. There was no, blood or anything like that. But these last 2 fights, he stopped Joe Nakalos with a 1-punch body shot. And now he had this dude, Ishida, leaking from the 3rd round on up. So it's crazy where he got all his power from. I'm not saying I don't know how he got it or why he's punching harder, but he's definitely punching harder. And he gave Sho Ishida a methodical beatdown over the course of 12 rounds to retain his title and keep the legacy and honor of Japanese bantamweight champions going. So he's got interesting fights awaiting him because the number 2 contender is Antonio Vargas, who won the Eliminator and who's his mandatory challenger. So that's a fight he can look into. Vargas earned the shot. The number 3 contender is Seiya Tsutsumi, who obviously is coming off of that very infamous fight against Kazuki Anaguchi, where Anaguchi lost his life. That would be a hellacious fight. So there's definitely fights out there for Takuma Inoue. I still think he's winning these fights But for me, the jury's still out on him because I don't know, man. He's good, but I'm not sold. I'm not all the way sold. So I need to see him in there with like Junto or one of the other champions. And if he can unify, then obviously that I'll have to change my tune. But nonetheless, a good performance. Very disappointed in Ishida. Ishida looked very lethargic. He looked just out of ideas. He scored a knockdown, a flash knockdown early in round 1 with an up jab because he knocked this guy off balance. And then after that, it was just one-way traffic. Takuma Inoue could not miss at all with the uppercut. So, that's pretty much what that fight was. And the last, but certainly not least, you had Seigo Yuri Akui, the WBA flyweight champion, defending his belt for the first time against Taku Kuwahara, a fighter whom he knocked out 3 years ago for the Japanese title. And it was a really interesting fight because obviously there was familiarity there between the two fighters. They both had contrasting styles. Seigo Yuri Akui is a high guard fighter, very regimented, very disciplined, not like an elite athlete. Kuwahara was more of a guy that is, you could say, has reflex fighter, speed fighter, but not like a regimented, disciplined fighter. So a lot of times in this fight, you will get Seigo Yuri Akui just staying within himself, marching forward in the high guard, behind the jab, looking to get that positioning on Kuwahara. And then when Kuwahara made defensive mistakes and had defensive lapses, he would capitalize on them quickly and swiftly. And that was, to me, the difference in this fight was just positioning. His hands were in a better position the whole fight, and that's why he kept landing the straight right hand down the middle over and over and over again. And he didn't knock him out this time because the first time they fought, it was a close fight. It was a close fight, and he knocked him out in the last round. That didn't happen this fight, but nonetheless, he wins the fight. He makes his first successful world title defense, and it opens up some big fights for him. Right now, flyweight's going through a bit of a transitional period. Hiroto Kaiguchi is currently the number 2 contender. So, really the de facto number 1 contender. So that could be a big fight domestically in Japan. You got Julio Cesar Martinez holding the WBC. And then as far as the IBF, I'm not sure who's fighting for that one yet. Riku Kanu and Anthony Olas-Kuwaga are supposed to fight for the WBO title. So I'm thinking that the most likely next fight for Seigo Yuri Akui is probably going to be, I would say, Kaiguchi, who I know Kaiguchi has a stay busy fight coming up soon. So those are my thoughts on the undercard fights. All the Japanese guys won. Whatchamacallit? Seigo Yuri Akui, Takuma Inoue, and what's his name? I'm a little tired, so I'm blanking out here. And Yoshiki Takei all won their fights, and Japan maintains its stranglehold on the lower weight classes. So let me know what you guys think and what you guys thought about all those fights. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kevin Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterfield, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.